I'm still exhausted from this past weekend. It was an amazing time, to say the least, but I am still extremely exhausted, and I actually just passed out. So, as always, welcome to another edition of The Ashley Show. We're going to talk a little Monday Night Raw. I just got back from night one. Well, a while back, got back from night one of the Impact Wrestling tapings at Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's thoughts on Redemption can be found here on the network. Video went up just a little bit ago.
Yeah, I still question $40, but other than that, it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, very definite, great atmosphere live. There was a lot of, well, not really a lot, but there was a lot that I really enjoyed in the show. Like I said, I always put over the live aspect of Impact. And we'll talk, and as we get done with Raw, of course, we'll talk about Impact. We'll do spoilers because that's what we do here. Speaking of spoilers, before we get started, do a little WWE. Zack Ryder defeated Mike Bennett and the Revival over Heath Slater and Rhino for main event.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a thing.
It is indeed a thing.
So if you're joining us, welcome. If you're here live, then have chat with us here in our live chat room. If you're not here live, then
You still get the live chat room.
Yeah, you do.
You've actually deciding to realize that that's important.
Jeremy Mills in chat says first Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, and now Alexa Bliss is apparently getting breast augmentation surgery.
Yeah, I think it happened.
Why? Seriously, why?
If you sort of look at her physically, she's not curvy enough to sort of look real. But at the same time, because of her size and everything, the previous plastic surgery she had a few years back doesn't look real enough. It just looks like, they've stuck two lumps of silicone in her rather than just making the curves look sort of more natural. Whatever. That's what happened. That's why she wasn't in South Africa. Because she's basically getting the surgery, I think. I mean, she did very little today. And obviously the women aren't allowed in Saudi Arabia because death penalty. So I think she's having it done in the run-up to Backlash because obviously she's got a rematch anyway. And they looked a bit different tonight. The chest looked a little bit further out because she that's the thing to know. She never took her t-shirt off. Even though this is supposed to be on 5-on-5, I don't think she ever tagged in. And if she did, she never took her t-shirt off. So if there are still scars that are still healing, they weren't showing them tonight.
So in news that's something that sucks. I want to get to since you already gave your thoughts for Redemption, I'm going to give mine. I told you one of the things I was really happy when I saw Don Callis come out to do commentary.
Yeah, no, he sort of saved that show.
Well, yeah, it's Don Callis. Of course he did.
Well, no, as in Josh didn't try and be heel.
Nope, he's not a heel anymore.
Sanjay's just being backstage and sort of doing the booking and whatever.
Right.
And Josh has improved. Then again, it probably helped by the fact that an hour in he lost his voice. To some extent.
There was a lot of issues with the ropes being really slippery. A lot of awkward botches.
Steiner was awesome and awesomely bad at the same time.
Yeah. The finish of the opening match with Aerostar and Drago ended up getting really badly botched. It was a springboard and a code breaker, and did not look
Well,
the greatest.
from what Dave and Brian and Vinny were saying, I don't know whether if you noticed every time that they went and did stuff from that part of the ring, it
There's a
nearly
problem.
always resulted in botches. So I don't know whether the ring was not put up properly.
Well, I can assure you today it was, but we'll get to that later. I do appreciate the fact right after the passing of Vern Troyer, LAX were playing dominoes, because the only thing that reminds me of that is the Mini-Me and Dr. Evil playing dominoes in prison to Hard Knock Life. That's all that reminds me of.
Yeah, but that's hiding the fact that apparently Conan's going back to AAA.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They pretty much called they called him out tonight on the show, but we'll get to that later. We get EY.
I don't think it was Taco Bell. Let's be honest.
We'll get to that. Yeah. So of course EYFBO against Eli Drake and Scott Steiner. Steiner was it was interesting, really. Hit the top rope Frankensteiner. It's interesting the Eli Drake doing the leaping elbow drop to the Steiner bicep kiss elbow. I think that worked really well. Finish came out of nowhere. I don't know exactly why they flipped the titles off LAX. I guess we'll see if there's a point to that. Didn't come off tonight. We'll get to that later. We had our 6-way scramble match with Taiji Ishimori, Desmond Xavier, one half of the newly crowned PWG Tag Team Champions past weekend. See, Zachary Wentz has worked Impact before. Here's the thing. Why can't they just put them together as a tag team? It would have made more sense than what happened tonight. But we'll get to that later.
Considering that there aren't any tag teams left in that company.
Yeah, pretty much not.
Like, he's busy in a 6-man feud and whatever. It's like, well.
El Hijo del Fantasma, Brian Cage, DJ Z, and Trevor Lee. I realized something tonight that this is one of those big Owen moments, but you got to understand, I'm kind of running off a literal emotional and physical high from the weekend. So I can state right now that I may not be as on point as I usually am. Just realized now, El Hijo del Fantasma Long Day is got a phantom mask. I get the point. I didn't realize that until just now.
Yeah, but the interesting bit was apparently the commentary.
Oh, King Cuerno?
They said he was Gift of the Gods champion.
Yeah, they mentioned Gift of the Gods, but they didn't mention the fact it was King. King Cuerno.
In his other belief.
Yeah, that's a thing. This match ended up with a lot of hard-way blood in the mouth. I noticed that several times. Drill claw on Desmond Xavier for the finish. So Taya Valkyrie and Kiera Hogan was a thing. Kiera Hogan reminds me of what you would get when you mix the size of Alexa Bliss and Naomi. I'm not a fan.
In all honesty, you got the actual match. All the rest of us just had Tessa Blanchard yapping away for 8 minutes.
I saw her in the corner of my eye because
which didn't help.
Really. Weak match. Didn't like it. Didn't really work from a lot of places. It went 8 minutes. It was about 3 minutes too long. Maybe 4 minutes too long. Road to Valhalla for the finish. Tessa's here, but she didn't do anything tonight, so we'll get her for the rest of the show. I like Petey doing the callback to Scott's original promo. That was cool. Matt Sydal and Petey Williams, really solid match, but the crowd did not care. Did not care at all. I realize that Matt Sydal, now the way he looks, is the love child of Dolph Ziggler and Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Sydal wins with the pump handle into a loose cradle for the win. like I said, it was a solid match. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it didn't really work for the live crowd, apparently. House of Hardcore match, OVE, the Chris Brothers and Sami Callihan against Tommy Dreamer, Moose, and Eddie Edwards. Why is Moose in this match? He's the one that fits. He sticks out like a sore thumb. Seriously.
Because Moose.
Oh, yeah, Moose is now Bobby Lashley, but we'll get to that later.
Moose.
Yeah, I know. Joke. This match. Yep. Thumbtacks were kind of necessary, but I get it to build the heat for the match. The story, it was basically about just a flash win at the end with a low blow and rolling up Dreamer for the victory. It was more about the Raven Tommy Dreamer-esque destruction of Sami Callihan at the end.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that.
I love that. That's one of the best segments I've ever seen in the Impact when it comes to telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the great thing about it is after everything was done and like Sami Callihan was basically crucified with the tape, and Eddie Edwards just like beat him like he owed him money, and he did the Jerry Lynn wiping the blood on his face. That was great. And the crowd was just like eating it up. This was so over with the live crowd, not even funny. And then Alicia comes out and gets decked with a Singapore cane. I was like, this is amazing. And this is so good because like Eddie Edwards just literally lost his mind, and we'll get to that later.
He's off his tits.
Speaking of that, interesting booking. Obviously, you know I'm a big Cherry Bomb fan, and I have been for a while, given the fact she's an O-Show alum. And I like the character of Allie. I even love how fact that she's like super adorable. And the next thing you know is she like yells out, "I'm Allie," before she hits a running clothesline in the corner. Su Young's match against Allie, interesting. Did not get enough time. Good, really good match. But it felt like it was weird that they had the title retention. I'm surprised, actually.
If you saw the promo beforehand, it sort of felt a little obvious that was happening because they were saying, "I'm not a paper." People keep saying, "Oh, I'm a paper champion."
Yeah,
I'll prove them wrong. That sort of thing, which was immediately like, "Well, yeah, this is obviously the angle that they're doing to put her over."
right.
But at the same time, it's like, so Su Young's a placeholder challenger then, clearly.
So Allie wins with a cradle after Panic Switch is countered. Interesting thing after this, Braxton comes basically to beg Su Young for forgiveness and ends up proposing to her. And she eats the mandible claw. She makes him eat the mandible claw.
Period mandible claw.
Oh my god.
This must have been the way it looks with the bloody sock. It's like the aborted fetus of Mr. Socko or something.
God. Well, we'll get to that later. Su Young's good. It's going to be really a fun time in Impact for sure. We'll get to that in a minute. Because Raw doesn't matter right now, apparently, from what I hear. So we get a great.
Well, the amount of adverts that we had for the Greatest Royal Rumble.
That shows
literally like during 3 of the matches, they went inset promo on it. Yes. By the way, guys, they've got another pay-per-view next weekend. But they have no matches for it. Apart from Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns, which may or may not be for the title. So, yes, they're going to do a build-up for a title match, possibly, if the title does change hands, for only 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown. Which, admittedly, they could be on each other's shows because they're in Montreal and they're not doing any house shows before it.
This show is a problem in so many ways. We'll get to that in a bit. Because I still want to talk Impact right now. We get a great video package for Slammiversary. We were watching it
in Toronto, in some shed that clearly isn't a wrestling venue.
Hold on. The best part about this, we're watching this video, and I was like, "Oh, this looks awesome" and everything. I was like, "Oh, I get to see Slammiversary again." And then shows up Toronto, Canada. I was like, "You should have heard the live audience reaction. Everybody
boo
booing
this
when it
man!
happened."
Boo this
Yes.
man!
Oh my God, yes. That happened. That was a thing. So
the only matches that we've got for Backlash at the minute are Rollins versus Miz because it was announced last week,
okay,
and Nia Jax versus Alexa because it was announced last week, and the Roman Samoa Joe thing, which who knows what that is. That's all the build-up we've got up for this pay-per-view so far. And also to show you how much they give a shit about it, I looked at the network. You know what they've got on Sunday? WrestleMania 34.
Wow.
So there's no like, here's last year's Backlash. Probably because, you know, it had that fucking terrible, House of Horrors match or whatever they called it.
Oh God, yeah, that match.
Wyatt, and they're just trying to bury that.
Oh, that was terrible. So then we get the main event. Austin Aries putting the Impact World title up for grabs against Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. This match was awesome, especially live. So many great spots in this match. Everybody hit basically their laundry list of amazing things. We'll put it that way. Aries went for a stack 450, and oh my God, it was a 450 knee drop to Pentagon. Death, especially live. Aries gets to the brain buster. He eats super kicks. And then Pentagon hits a gory special package pile driver combination. Would look fantastic. He shatters Aries' arm, hits the Pentagon driver, and hits the Pentagon driver and wins the championship. Match was fantastic. I enjoyed this greatly.
That's your first Penta in person match, isn't it?
It is my first Penta in person match, and not the last because I got to see it again tonight.
True, but you know,
not a great opponent though.
Is the hype real?
Yeah, I think so.
Phoenix I love the fact as well. He hasn't wrestled for AAA in like nearly a year and a half. But he's called Pentagon Jr. because the show's a AAA show.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're pushing Lucha Underground, they can't be their identities from Lucha Underground. Despite the fact, if they wrestle anywhere else, it's Rey Fenix and Penta Zero Miedo.
Right.
Brilliant.
God, that chant's over. We'll get to that later too. So again, because I don't care about Raw right now, because I haven't done any research to see what was on the show, we'll talk about
brilliant in brilliant and not so brilliant ways.
So Impact tapings tonight. My literal home away from home. Soundstage 19, Universal Orlando Resort, Universal Studios, Florida. We started off with an explosion match with Rohit Raju defeating Suicide with the spinning neck breaker and a fisherman suplex. We had the rematch with Eli Drake and Scott Steiner defending against...
You didn't bring up Rohit Raju beating Suicide?
I just said that.
Oh. Apparently, I've got notes here that Desmond Xavier won the Impact Mini Golf Championship.
That is correct. That does not matter.
It does. He's two-time champion this weekend.
Well, yeah. First, he had to beat all the people that were in the Impact Impact Mini Golf Championships.
Yeah.
I'm going with the wrestling matches.
Yeah. I really don't know where this is taping. Because by the looks of it, they taped 3 weeks worth of stuff, maybe.
Yeah, they said basically we're going to be taping 9 weeks of television, and they said we're basically not going to tell you what's going to be. There's a lot of things that felt like they were go-homes. Like it was like the end of the show. There's stuff that felt like it was the beginning of the show, and there was stuff that just felt like it was in the middle of the show. We don't know.
So they are basically taping to Slammiversary.
That's what it looks like. So the Eli Drake and Scott Steiner successfully defended against EYFBO. This was a good finish, actually. So Eli Drake ended up power slamming Santana off the street sweeper because he came off for the flying guillotine and he power slammed him off of Ortiz's shoulders. I thought that looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Eli Drake basically he has his briefcase with him at all times, obviously, that gives him a guaranteed world title shot. He basically said he doesn't care who it is, whether it's Pentagon or, and here comes Austin Aries, he comes out with the grand championship, says that title is the most important because it's the one that I hold. And Pentagon hits the ring, they have a pull apart, and they have their respective championships held in the air, so that was a good way. We get a matchup between Ali defending successfully the Knockouts Championship against Taya Valkyrie. She wins with the BSE and into the code breaker. So, interestingly enough, you had the Undead Brides come out with a casket, and they set it ringside.
So Judas Messias' theme.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So they had the casket, and Ali goes to kick it, and she does. And when she does, it kind of falls over a bit. And the next thing you know, the lights go out. Su Young's in the ring. She fights with Ali to try to hit the hanging pedigree, like the snake bite pedigree. But the issue with the problem with it is that it wasn't really cooperating properly. So she was like trying to get her foot on the middle rope, and then it didn't work out. And she tried to get her foot on the middle rope again, tried to work out, and tried to get her through the rope. Didn't really work out, but she finally hit it. And then she's trying to put Ali in the casket. Lights go out, and here comes Rosemary. She's wearing a Demon Bunny shirt. She chases Su Yung to the back. It was interesting because the lights didn't go out, and Su Yung runs away. I thought that was interesting. Brian Cage defeated Trevor Lee, who had Caleb Conley in his corner with a drill claw. Second time you saw Caleb Conley the night, even though the first time he was suicide. Still doing that.
Kayfabe.
Yeah, I can say that. So Eddie Edwards comes out. He says he put Sami Callihan in the hospital, but he didn't do the same with the Chris brothers. So what is he going to do? He's going to put them in the hospital just the same. And if they don't come out, he's going to go to Dayton himself and put their wives in the ICU. And here comes OVE. So they hit the ring. Eddie gets the upper hand momentarily. Then they do the 2-on-1 mugging. And then the next thing you know, this was creepy. And I like this a lot. I like the storytelling and Impact on these tapings are fantastic. You can tell the Don Callis, Scott D'Amore influence of Impact now. So all of a sudden, when this is happening, we get on a video that shows there's a wheelchair and it's got balloons in front of it. And it's slowly wheeling with really like evil music, like very like Pennywise-esque. That's the best way to describe it. It's very it for every reason possible. And basically, the next thing you know, we see the bedside of Alicia Edwards. And all of a sudden, you see the person pull out a pair of scissors. And he cuts the balloons, and the next thing you know, it's Sami Callihan. And he looks over, Alicia says, I just want to talk. And then it goes to black, and Eddie runs to the back. I thought it was very awesome storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see where this is going. This is going to be fun.
Where it goes.
It'll follow up tomorrow, and I'm excited to see it. Moose defeated Braxton Sutter with the spear. So apparently Moose is using murder, death, kill now because Lashley's not with the company. That makes sense. And then he calls out Pentagon Jr. and he says, I'm Mr. Impact Wrestling. It says that on his gear and everything. It was weird.
Right.
So Matt Sydal successfully defended the X Division Championship against Taiji Ishimori with the Iconoclasm and a driver. Really good match. Good back and forth match meetings too. Crowd was really into it. There was, I'm sure you probably saw in your notes, there was a focus on the Boys and Girls Clubs in Central Florida that were there in attendance. They were sitting in front of me the whole time, and they were super into everything. So I'm curious to see how that's going to come off on television because they were chanting a lot of really odd things and a lot of really random things.
Probably.
So Eli Drake comes out. He's got the tag belt. He's got the briefcase. He says Scott Steiner's not with him tonight because he's working on his peaks and he's got his freaks. So he calls out Pentagon for one, and he says, I'm calling my shot next week. I'm cashing in the briefcase. Pentagon comes out. They have a stare down. I'm guessing that's the end of the show. Makes sense. Then we get a 6-man tag with Lucha Libre rules with Drago, Aerostar, and El Hijo del Fantasma taking on Andrew Everett, Desmond Xavier, and DJZ. The thing I said about Xavier and Wentz teaming up in Impact, yeah, that should have been it. That should have been where Andrew Everett was. Good stuff here. Really solid matchup. A lot of good false finishes. I really enjoyed it for what it was. The non-Lucha team, basically the Impact team worked together really well. The Lucha team worked together extremely well. And DJZ wins over Aerostar with a ZDT off the top. So basically, like the somersault rolling DDT off the top rope looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the match, they all celebrated and they shook hands and everything. It felt somewhat like a farewell, like a curtain call, somewhat. I don't know if that's the case or not, if that's going to be the end of seeing them on the tapings, but I guess we'll see. But it felt like they showed a little bit more respect than you would think. But we'll see. OVE got a tag team win over the babyface team. Keep that in mind. Babyface team of KM and Falaba.
What?
Yeah, Kevin Matthews was a babyface tonight.
What?
Super random, to say the least.
Actually, what? I'm not even going to stop saying it because fucking hell.
Yeah, it's very random.
There's a connotation.
Yeah. OVE go over with Dave Chris getting the win after a super kick, a round kick, and a stack roll up on Falaba. So that's pretty much the end of that. Didn't go anywhere else other than that because obviously Eddie Edwards was trying to run to the aid of Alicia at some hospital here in Orlando. Then we get the next match, and I saw that they were doing this, and I was thinking, they're not going to give this away. No. They're building this to Slammiversary because this is the match that everybody wants to see. Rosemary against Su Yung never gets started. They start fighting on the floor immediately. Su Yung ends up hitting the panic switch on the floor, which looks great, by the way. And then here come the Undead Brides again. And they went to deliver Rosemary once again to Su Yung. Here comes Allie. She attacks Su Yung, and the Undead Brides are just kind of watching on and not really doing anything. Su Yung and Rosemary fight up the ramp, and Su Yung gives Rosemary the panic switch off the ramp through a table, which that'll probably come off really well from my vantage point. It was hard to see, but I know it was the table. And then basically they held Allie to make her watch as her demon bunny partner was destroyed before her. Su Yung rolls her on the ramp, and they drag her towards Allie. And Su Yung ends up putting Rosemary in the casket, and Allie is held back, unable to do anything. So, yeah, we're getting a casket match between Rosemary and Su Yung, it looks like.
I wonder where they got that idea from.
Once again, the Mil Muertes book of fun. Main event time, Austin Aries came out to do commentary. I will say, with the weird, like, the way the sound system and the Impact Zone work, Aries' music, I don't know how it comes off on television, but my God, it is obnoxious live.
It's like a rip-off version of the old music that he had in WWE at some points. That's the way it comes across to me, anyway.
And that led to the main event of Pentagon Jr. successfully defending the Impact World Championship over Eli Drake, beating Eli Drake with a Pentagon driver in a decent match, which should be good for television. I will say that the crowd was not really into it. The children have gone by now, and a lot of it kind of thinned out a bit. So it wasn't as over as it would be if it was earlier in the show, but it still was a solid match. And Pentagon celebrates after the match is over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the tapings. We're back tomorrow night at bell time, 6:30 p.m. If you're able to come to Universal, then you can go to the Studio Audience Center or the Blue Man Group entrance, and you can get your tickets, standby tickets, if you'd like to. If you're an annual pass holder, or if you are a team member with the company, then you have access. And of course, if you have that Impact VIP, you're going to be able to get in early anyway. So yeah, door time, bell time, 6:30 for the rest of the week up until Thursday night. So maybe I'll see some of you there.
I've got to remember that I need to get the notes up for tonight.
That's Impact. Let's talk Raw now.
By the way, the pre-show panel for the Rumble is Booker T, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler.
Nice.
With Byron Saxton hosting. Because no women! We start off with a Bruno Sammartino graphic and go to the arena with everybody in Bruno-related shirts and whatever. And to honor the life, they do the 10-bell salute, and they do. There's the video package, just like the bloody the network documentary that I'm watching is a really good thing. And the amazing thing as well is Vince on the stage looks bloody cracked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like really sort of like nearly on the verge of tears. Because of course him and Linda were at the funeral, which I think was yesterday.
Yeah, I actually saw that. I saw in social media that they had attended Bruno's funeral.
There comes Brock on episode Raw 1300. Get more marking of stuff, and he's like, my name is Paul Heyman. I am the advocate for, and here's how it goes. And still reigning defense, because of course this is the first promo since that title change, or the not title change, I guess. We're bestowing people with their anger because they think I'm going to come out here and gloat. But the fact of the matter is, we told you so. We conquered Roman, we conquered Cena, we conquered Undertaker's undefeated streak. And when it comes to Brock, this is all real. Anybody in the locker room stands as much of a chance as the wannabes in the crowd. I don't give predictions, I give spoilers. Brock don't gloat. He conquers. I am the one that gloats all night long about Brock use very non-PG elbows to fuck up face of Roman. I mean, I obviously didn't say that, but that was the inclination. I gloat over Lesnar suplexing and suplex and suplex and F5 and F5 and A5. Rangers in a heap like Samoan trash at the biggest WrestleMania of all time. But none of that means anything to Brock. Brock doesn't dwell in the past, even if it was only 2 weeks ago. He's looking forward to the future, especially when the future is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the greatest Royal Rumble. Brock, who so craves to be in a UFC fight, will get on a private jet and fly around the world to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the mere opportunity to be locked inside of a cage with Roman Reigns. And, being in a cage, it wasn't Reigns' idea. And the fact is, Lesnar won. WWE had no choice. They had to give Lesnar a big, fat, beautiful contract with a substantial raise that was earned. Clearly, they did this because it leaked out that I think he's getting paid like $600,000 an appearance, whether he wrestles or not. So he got $600,000 tonight, Owen.
What did he do for $600,000?
He stood.
Jeez.
And did his jumpy thing in the ring.
He does bounce quite well. I agree.
The bounce. The WWE told Lesnar the title has to be defended in Saudi Arabia. And if Reigns is still breathing, he said he wanted Roman in a fight inside a steel cage. The odds are stacked against Reigns even more so than they were at Mania. Reigns is stepping into the cage against the greatest cage fighter in the Broctagon. And this Friday, Reigns will be shredded and sent back to America in multiple boxes. If it's a terrorist attack, this is the worst wording ever.
Yeah, no lie.
So here comes Roman. To a more mixed reception than usual. And Reigns just stares at him, and Heyman's looking, and Lesnar's laughing and trash talking, and Roman's like, "You're right. I don't know how I'm going to get back. But I do know one thing. I'm coming home with the Universal title. Believe that." And that's how you wasted $600,000, everybody.
God.
And the great thing is, after the promo, Lesnar just went, "Ooh," like, I'm scared. You know, ugh. The Sammy and Kevin show is debuting later.
Well, that's the reason to watch.
We'll also see the main event. I wonder why this is the main event, Owen. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Ember Moon, and Natalya versus the Riot Squad, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Is it because they're not allowed in Saudi Arabia?
Oh my God. Okay, here's the thing. I see for a freaking fact at this point, and I even use freaking because I'm so agitated with this.
Fuck.
This stupid Saudi Arabia show. They're stacking this thing like it's the second coming. First off, I looked at that.
Been able to talk about that since last week. It's now come out. You know how we were saying about those tickets being as cheap as they were?
I was reading though. I was like listening to Brian Dave about everything, talking about how the only people that can get it were like friends of the king and stuff like that, and you had to basically have a family member in order to be able to have tickets. And
for the front bit,
in good places in the building.
Yep.
This is stupid. I mean, I get it. I understand.
Propaganda.
It's bad PR, too.
Propaganda.
Yeah, and you know what they should get, to be quite honest at this point? A bunch of non-finishes and no title changes. That's what they should get.
0 dimes. Elias doesn't. He gets to say hello, I'm Elias, and then Bobby Roode interrupts him because it's glorious. Oh, by the way, they went to commercial right after Brock showed up, straight after the Bruno tribute, which is an interesting time. So Elias, Bobby Roode, they go to commercial. When they come back, inset camera, because now we're doing a promo for bloody Greatest Royal Rumble.
Stop it! Stop it! It's like
have you heard of this thing happening?
I don't know. It's
every fucking match. It's just like Greatest Royal Rumble, Greatest Royal Rumble, Greatest Royal Rumble.
You know, at this point, I mean,
Cole's gonna have to change his hair because they'll think he's gay, and then they'll give him the death penalty.
What are we not going? Oh, we're not covering this thing. First off,
we will do, just not live. We're going to do the post-mortem probably Friday night if we get a chance to.
Friday night? That might be possible. I mean, I don't know.
We ain't going to be able to do stuff in the midweek because, you know, I'm amazed that I'm even able to do this tonight. But I changed my sleep pattern for various private reasons that I'm not disclosing.
Hi, I'm Owen. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Not on here, at least. In time, yes.
Yeah, I think as long as my sleep patterns get back to stupid rather than normal, I'm having to normalize them for things, and then I'm having to denormalize them just to keep up with the wrestling and everything. So yeah, I think like Friday night we might do some sort of post-mortem about it, see how it goes. I mean, best thing to note though, what's the best thing you do with one of your prize assets from the draft?
Oh God, not do anything with them?
Elias wins.
Wow.
Basically, Elias got out the ring, avoiding the glorious DDT attempt or whatever. Rue goes out and throws him back in, but Elias snaps the arm off the ropes and just rolls him up. So yeah, Bobby Roode's debut singles match on Raw is jobbing to Elias. Further proof that Raw got the shit end of the shakeup. And then, of course, Woken Matt and say, tonight we must descend into the abominable wasteland. And then Bray comes in. Bray, I nearly called him that. Without darkness, there can be no light, and together we'll cast a shadow that will engulf all living things. And then they did the entrance. And then they realized, well, we can't do that anymore because Dwayne's given birth to a kid.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Wife's given birth to a kid.
So it's funny because he's going to be coming here in the next week or so. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Jungle Cruise. What's it called? Not Jungle Cruise. What's it called?
Rampage. Oh, you're talking about Fast and Furious Supercharge. Yeah, it officially opened today.
No. What's the Disney ride that they're making into the movie?
Oh yeah, it is Jungle Cruise.
Yeah,
you got it right.
They're filming that next month, I believe. So I don't know if he's going. Well, he's been having visits at Universal, but he's probably going to go there to get an idea of what the ride's like, because they're pretty well. I was going to say, at least with the first Pirates film, they got that pretty good in terms of the ride. Then it just went off a cliff. What was I? Apparently Hardy and Wyatt are being called the Deleters of Worlds.
I saw that. I don't like their merch either.
That's the official tag team name or whatever. Unsurprisingly, Woken Wyatt win with a twist of fate and all that. So now it's time. Throughout the night, they were doing tweets for Bruno, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vince and Bruno Mars and a lot of things. But now we get to the interesting bit. The Sammy and Kevin show. On an easel, so it looks exactly like Kevin Steen's old show on High Spots.
I thought I saw that on social media. I wasn't imagining that, was I?
They also had pictures of them beating the shit out of people, including Shane, on various poster boards around it, again on easels.
Oh,
and they're sat at a desk as if it's like a podcast. With mics and stands and everything.
Dang, this wasn't done on purpose, not at all.
Welcome everybody to the hottest new interval show in WWE. We'll do this whenever we feel like it. And last week, a huge void was left with the loss of the Miz, and who better to step up and fill the void than us? But we'll also step up and win the greatest Royal Rumble. And it's like, why they call Kevin's like, why they call this the greatest Royal Rumble, right? And he's like, because 7 titles are being defended? Nope. Because there's a 50-man Royal Rumble? Nope. Is it because we're in it? Yep. Is it because we're going to win it? Yep. Now, everybody needs to take off work for the day or stay home from school. And we'll prove that we're the greatest superstars and show why we were handpicked to be the crown jewels of the show by none other than Stephanie. And Owen says, these are all facts, but we're probably rubbing our guest the wrong way. In respect to the guest, it's time to do the song. And bloody Sami Zayn's like, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Not even to the bloody tune of Kurt Angle's theme.
That's great because Sammy's supposed to be dorky, and that actually comes off really well with his character.
And he's like, and Kurt Angle comes in, and there's no chair, and Kevin's just like, "Where are my manners?" So he pulls out a yard chair from underneath the table where they're sat and lets Kurt sit in that rather than they're in the swanky leather chairs or whatever. And Sammy's like, what did you think of the song? And Angle's like, don't quit your day jobs. And Kevin's like, look, I know you're bitter about last week, but we got off on the wrong foot. You know, to be honest, you should be mad if your boss has your manhood in a jar in Hartford, Connecticut. And Zane is like, look, we've come from a toxic working environment. We were victims of a conspiracy by Shane. We took matters into our own hands and cracked even the skull of Vince. So Stephanie doesn't give a shit about her father then. I remind that again. And Sammy's like, either she really appreciates us or she must really hate you, Kurt. And Kurt says, how? I wouldn't blame her if she did. If it wasn't for me speaking up, Rhonda would have been under her thumb, while also having full use of her arm. And Owens is like, you desperately need this job. And it's like, Zane says, how are your 5 kids? And Owens goes, 6. And so Zane's like going through his notes and puts on those bloody glasses again from last week. He's like, oh, I forgot Jason Jordan, right?
They're still doing that.
That's no big deal because Angle forgot about him for years as well. Oh!
Oh, God. Do I need to have the clip of some guy saying, got him in the background?
Got him!
There you go.
Tonight ain't about the past, it's about the future. And Angle says, well, I'm telling you, you know, how to maximize the investment that she made with him. And it's like, I appreciate the way you treated me, but I'll pay you back because I'm going to be in the Rumble. Daniel Bryan's going to be in the Rumble. Chris Jericho's going to be in the Rumble. And every other superstar you've endeared yourself towards over the years. But that's Friday. This is Monday Night Raw, and I'd love to repay you now. So tonight, you get in a tag team match against Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, who should have been the Raw Tag Team Champions at WrestleMania. Arguably. So Seth's backstage with the Miz Taraj showing up. And we're saying we want to reclaim our future, and they're wearing Monday Night Rollins t-shirts. And it's like, we want to be the new Shield. And Rollins goes, look, your wins are in the right place. And they do the fists out, and Rollins is just like, no. Greatest Royal Rumble hype. Tag team women's match hype. And now here comes Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus Titus Worldwide.
Hey, this team intrigues me.
This. Nobody gives a shit about this because Drew McIntyre and Dolph win with the Zigzag Claymore double team. And then good old Charlie Caruso's in the ring and asks Ziggler, why did you bring Drew? And Ziggler's like, day one since I've been here, nobody's had my back. And now, and I'm going, wait, Vicky Guerrero? I think she had your back. But now Drew is watching my back. So this is actually Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get from it, too. I don't mind this, but I mean, maybe it'll help Dolph Ziggler because he really could use a rejuvenation right now.
And he's like, this man is dangerous. And Drew gets the mic and says, I'm dangerous, especially to a locker room that's gone soft. And no, I'm not telling you how it's spelled. There's no fire or ambition.
He's on Twitter now, apparently.
These people are just collecting checks, earning the money, and it makes me sick. I'm what a superstar looks like. The times are changing. I am not what WWE wants. I'm the wake-up call and reality check this company needs. And Ziggler's like, I don't give a damn about seeing the show. We are the show. We are the bar. Fuck it.
Well, wait a minute. I don't want to mention something, though, that you glossed over that I'm reading because obviously I've got important things to do at this point, and I did not get a chance to see the show. And important mean I need to sleep. But the thing is, apparently Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are on a mission to become part of a stable now.
Well, I mentioned the Shield bit, yeah. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because it's still got to develop. Because here comes Chad Gable. And Gable says, "How's Jason?" And Angle says, "Look, he'll be back soon, but you're here as a singles competitor." And I'm going, "Fuck off. You're putting American Alphabet together because, you know, that Angle fucking sucked."
Please put
Here
American
comes
Alphabet
Jinder.
together.
Here comes Jinder, not happy about last week with Jeff. And he wants to be sent back to SmackDown Live. And Chad's like, "Look, have some respect." And then Jinder goes, "Shut up, Nicholas." Because apparently he thinks Chad Gable is Nicholas.
Okay.
And then bloody Jinder goes, "Oh, wait. You're not. What? I thought Mini-Me passed away this week." And I'm like, fucking hell. Who's writing this shit?
I don't know, but they need to stop.
And of course, this is going to be settled in the ring.
So apparently we get a match between Chad Gable and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Which Gable won.
Hold on. When I'm reading this, did he win? Okay, I'm judging he won with.
Guess what Jinder did?
Was it the Bret Hart finish? Because that's what it sounds like. Just reading.
No, before that, he did a fucking V trigger.
Oh boy.
He went for the Callas, but Gable climbed the ropes and pushed back to win, a la WrestleMania 8. So yeah, the guy that got buried on SmackDown gets a giant push. And the guy that was like the main event of Raw last week gets buried in the opening to Elias. What the fuck is going on? So Renee's backstage with the Riot Squad. Renee's like, "Were you trying to send a message to Sasha and Bailey last week?" And Ruby's like, "No, it's a message to the whole division." Liv goes, "We're not here to build bridges or make friends." "You clearly are, because you're friends yourself." And Sarah Logan's just like, "I spent my life tracking animals and I know how to take things down." When it's worded in that context, it does not make any sense. And then Ruby actually comes up with a decent line from creative. We're like a can of tear gas. We're equal opportunity agitators. Everyone will be on their knees for begging and help, and it's all messy and unpleasant. And that's the way, we like it. I mean, they didn't do the bit, but that's what, yeah. That's good. Then we had Mojo on the phone saying that Brock will leave Roman buried in the sands of a desert. Mm-hmm. In which case, your pay-per-view payday is going to be fucking stupid, because Roman's going to be buried in the sands of a desert and you're not going to get a pay-per-view match. What's going to happen then? So then the Miz is like, Miztourage, sorry, is like, because they still haven't found another name yet. They're going like, "Oh, we feel we're ready." And of course it's Finn, and it's like they've got OG Balor Club shirts on. Because obviously, until they're back from Saudi Arabia, they are burying the gay shirts. Burying the gay shirts.
Not right. Not fair. Stupid Saudi Arabia. This show sucks. I don't care.
I think they now realize because of the Saudi Arabia thing, if they did want to turn Balor kayfabe gay, he could never wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
Why is this even a thing?
And they were trying to too sweet, and he just like put his hand on top of their hands and just pushed them down like, no. And the great thing is Bo's like, oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And Curtis is smiling away going, no, I have no idea what you're thinking. It's like...
It's always fun.
Kevin and Sammy versus Bobby and Braun.
That's cool.
Lashley basically gets worked over for nearly all the match. Strowman makes the hot tag and proves why he's a better main event contender than Brock or Roman. He literally gets tagged in. Rather than get in the ring, he runs around the ring and basically pounces on bloody Kevin, who sells it like death. He gets in the ring, smacks Sammy, gets back out, smacks Kevin, sells like death, gets back in the ring, big old lariat to Sammy, gets back out, bloody drop kicks Owens. Strowman gets in the ring, Zayn tries to run away up the ramp, Lashley catches him and puts him back in the ring, clubs him down with the get these hands thing. Strowman throws Zayn over the ring after tagging Lashley, and Lashley does the stalling vertical suplex. And then Strowman gets tagged back in and hits Zayn with a running power slam. After that drop kick, Kevin didn't move for about 5 minutes. Yes.
Did he hit the shotgun drop kick?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he sold it like death by the ring steps for about 5 minutes. Even afterwards, it was just like brilliant. The great thing is, this is all completely overshadowing that Lashley's back. So Lashley's already mid-card.
Somewhat fair, I guess.
Here comes No Way Jose.
Why?
And then here comes Baron Corbin.
Why?
And Baron's like, I see what you're doing. This conga line is an excuse to attack me. You five of you will get in the ring and then attack me from behind. That might be your idea of fun, doing congas and whatever, but my idea of fun is ruining other people's fun. I'm here to be a champion. You ain't on my level, Jose. And as long as you're running around with freaks, I say no way, Jose. And he walks off. And Jose says, hey, just because you don't want us to have fun, don't mean the party has to stop. Hit the music. And they conga up the ramp, and Jose celebrates at the top of the ramp. And Corbin gets attacked from behind. Kicks him in the ribs, threw him into the LED screen wall thing, and gave him the choke breaker. I think that's what it is, choke slam backbreaker.
Yeah, he's hitting my old backyard wrestling finish, yes.
And the crowd went mild. Literally, when Corbin attacked him, they were just like... And when he did the choke breaker, they were just like... like, well, that's gone over like a fart in church.
So strange.
So now it's time for a public service announcement. A moment of bliss.
John Stewart, John Stewart on line 1 to WWE immediately.
No, but it's Alexa Bliss cutting a promo saying how Nia bullied her and warns Nia's partners to not fall victim to Nia's bullying. This has been your moment of bliss. You couldn't tell whether she had the tit job, though. That's the important thing. So it's Balor and Rollins versus Miztourage. Yeah, but Balor wins with a coup de grace. So they're now just mid-card shit. In all honesty. I don't know how long Axel and Dallas have got in this company.
I hope that's not true.
Well, something has to happen. Because just like Ascension, they're just going to go into main event and main event and main event. Like Revival being buried, because, you know. But man, like big sweaty man. Or gimmicks from other companies, because, you know, he's trying to cash in on them.
Oh my god.
So it's brilliant. The women's 10-man tag, I guess, went to a win by DQ for the heels. They all got to do something apart from, of course, Alexa, who did nothing. He was just standing there and didn't even tag in. So the big thing is how the big thing was midway through. Natalia went for a sharpshooter, but Logan chop blocked the knee of Natalia with James being put in the submission. And the referee's checking on her and she's like limping. And then, of course, Mickey just kicks her in the leg and kicks her outside. And then kicks her again and whatever afterwards as well.
Am I reading this right, that that's going to be the match, Ronda against Mickie James?
I think they might be doing that at Backlash. They haven't confirmed it yet. I don't know.
I thought it was confirmed. I saw somebody talking about it on social media.
Well, that's the way it looks. Certainly. Okay. I mean, they obviously can't do it in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's not on. I was going to say it's not on Wiki, but I haven't checked WWE's Twitter or anything yet. So, yeah, she attacks Buddy Natalia again, sort of later on. And Natalia's crying and everything. And then it's sort of trying to think. Jax sort of just basically squashes Riot, just throws her in the corner, hits an avalanche. Military presses her, like throws her up pretty high, he throws her down, does the leg drop, and then here comes the brawl. And then Jax leaks off the 8. I know we're not trying to say, you know, that this, you know, fat bullying thing, but Jax went off the apron and onto them like a fucking whale that tripped.
Oh, God.
It really did not look good. It was just like, I'm going to fall not gracefully at all.
Complete opposite of what Aerostar did with his massive springboard trust fall the last 2 nights I've seen.
So Natalia is struggling to get to her feet, and James all of a sudden baseball slides and attacks the knee again, running round. And here comes Ronda Rousey's music playing now. James gets in the ring, and Rousey helps Natalia up, and James baseball slides Ronda. So Ronda gets up, selling to some extent, and then does the whole face. Gets in the ring, judo throw takes her down and puts the armbar on. And of course, that's a DQ. Because, yeah, Mickey attacking Ronda for no reason wasn't a DQ. And then Ronda helps Natalia to the back. So the entire women's division was buried because Ronda Rousey.
That's not good. And greatest Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah, there was an advert for that in this show as well, in this match.
Well, can we talk about things that have been broken recently, about something a little bit more important right now? I'm referring to All In.
Bloody Chelsea's tweet. I fucking did it. Hashtag booked before flip.
That's hilarious.
Chelsea Green's in, and also Janelle.
Yeah, Janelle's in. They're official now.
More news coming
Wednesday, yeah.
And then I believe the press conference is next Wednesday.
Is that on Twitch?
I think so. Yeah, it's on Twitch and Facebook. Let me search for the All In press conference. Oh, great. I'm just finding everything. Cody. When I search All In press conference, nothing happens. So there it is. Okay. The press conference is May 13th. So it's a couple of weeks, actually. But yeah. And the first 50 fans to arrive at Pro Wrestling Tees will be allowed in.
I totally would be there if I could.
Well, you'd have to go to Chicago.
Yeah, that's kind of far away.
Yeah. That's a bit of a problem. And
I need to be nowhere near Pro Wrestling Tees, because every time that those 3 words are uttered by me, I spend way too much money.
I buy too much. Giant Barber's wife passed away.
Yeah.
Long time runner of All Japan after Giant Barber himself died. So he has been pretty busy and everything. The one thing I did want to check.
Some might say that Baba's wife was about as influential to wrestling as Linda McMahon was.
I'd say that's actually fair. Yeah. That's what we got. Something I also double checked on, which I did mention in the video. The only other thing that's priced at more than $40 for Impact is UFC shows.
Oh boy.
The other indie shows that are on there, even bloody the expensive bloody what was it, Defiant show, is 15. Which is more proof that they should not be charging as much as they are for what they're giving right now. In all honesty. El Desperado and Kanemaru retained the junior heavyweight title matches yesterday, or I guess earlier today. Which wasn't too, but well, there was somewhat of a screwy finish, but nothing I'd say too ridiculous. Then the big one, arguably, the World of Sport tapings are back on in Norwich, which is screwing over the Knight family that basically made that bloody venue. So I think it was Roy put up like a Facebook Live thing, basically saying how he wanted a peaceful protest. But yeah, that seems a little bit shitty, because it's like they don't want to deal with, carnies like the Knight family. You don't see a World of Sport movie, but you're getting a Page movie. So that's, a bit bullshit. Then bloody Walter's bloody PWG World Champion. Holy shit. I love this news. And as we said, Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier are the tag champs now as well. As the Young Bucks said, they're fare thee wells, which is a shame. Asuka and Becky Lynch is happening on versus the Iconics tomorrow on SmackDown. We'll have to see. Booker T was actually pretty good on commentary tonight. Coach should do more golf. That's all I'm saying. Just better. And I think that's everything other than obviously Bruno's passing and Paul Jones is passing as well. They were the big ones, really. Then, like, the day after bloody Avicii died, and then the day after Vern Troyer died, it was like, God almighty. Everybody's just dying. It's not in a good way. Like, shit. And, Impact's going to be back on UK television. They, I guess, renewed their deal, even though it's been missing for the last few weeks. It's going to be on Fridays at 11 p.m. So rather than being at a time when people could watch it, they're putting it on bloody late. But then again, because it's on Friday night, it probably doesn't matter too much, possibly. And then I guess the other big thing, apparently from last week, Buddy Murphy can't make weight, so we're doing a number one contenders gauntlet match to find out who's facing Cedric on Friday. What a great last minute call that's going to be.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is Buddy Murphy can't make weight, but I can.
What if bloody Mustafa Ali gets it? Conspiracy much?
God.
I mean, Great Khali's going to be in the Rumble. As it turns out, one of the people that is the trait that's been in the performance center testing or whatever that they've done over there last week, one of them's going to be in the Rumble. I think. I really hope that they win it, because then it'll be like, well, as if this isn't fucking farcical enough. The guy who has barely any wrestling experience, just, jeez.
Did you miss you didn't even mention this. I was just seeing this video on Twitter, just like when Bayley came out for the match on Raw tonight. She almost got accosted by an older man.
Oh, the creepy fuck. It was like, I'm hugging a kid, and the guy is just like, I want to hug you too. We're like, get the fuck away, you twat. It's like, holy shit. Oh, the other thing that it turns out is the Greatest Royal Rumble winner might just get a trophy.
Then it is literally the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Probably. Just seeing if there's anything going on. I'm just seeing GIFs. Well, not GIFs, but images of Kevin Owens dead from earlier on.
The drop kick.
Yeah. Well, it was after the match when Kevin's just lying next to the steps. It might be in the video package that they put on Facebook, or sorry, on YouTube.
Right.
And good old WrestleViews Doug Lackey put haven't cried tears of joy at Braun Strowman's hot tag like this since the Russian flag dropped behind Rusev.
You want to talk about another travesty that happened over the week? Stars canceled Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, well, Ash versus Evil Dead, yeah.
Yeah, and Bruce Campbell went on record to say he'll never play Ash Williams again.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. But, I mean, it sucks. I'm glad we got our house last year. One of my favorite dark comedy houses we've ever had. Even though the general public didn't like it, but their opinion doesn't matter. So, and I can say that on a wrestling podcast, so it's not
Saudi
a
princes
problem.
are starting to embody the angry IWC. I'm trying to work what that out is in relation to.
Are they paying? Or are they basically going to be Roman Reigns supporters when he wins the title on Friday?
I don't think many of them are smart marks. Which is the problem, maybe.
I don't want them to go with. I just want them to just have Brock retain. Just be like, I don't care. Like Brian and Dave, like Brian especially, has got me sold on the fact. And to be quite honest, this was my way of thinking anyway. Was the fact that there's kind of an issue with Roman getting anything moving forward because it's not believable anymore. His character is dead.
Dead.
Cena still has an upside. Roman does not.
Yeah. What was up with all the bunny ears last night?
Oh, Allie, of course.
Yes, but like, it just looked like failed bloody Playboy bunnies at some points.
It was the bunny section in the front row.
Yeah, but it just didn't look perfect.
Well, yeah, I know. And then Allie grabbed it and put it on the ref's head tonight. That was fun.
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, she's a no-show alum. I enjoy her work, and I get the crowd just. I mean, some of it just is like some of the stuff that's heard and said in that building is just not something I want to be a part of. I was waiting in line tonight and I was listening to some of the things they were saying, and I was like, you do not need to talk about wrestling. You do not know what you're talking about. And some are like, oh, they did this and this and this, and I was like, yeah, you don't need to talk about this either. I mean, you know what you're talking about, but it's almost to the point that you need to not. But I mean, that's just me. I become a jaded wrestling fan who doesn't really watch much of the product anymore because I fall asleep all the time because I'm an old man.
You don't have any excuse to miss the Greatest Royal Rumble because it's like midday.
Yeah, I do. I usually have a much better place to be on Friday afternoons, but that's only for the next week. We'll see if that goes through. If it does, then yes. But
I mean, Impact are doing afternoon shows.
No. It's something a lot more important than Impact.
Ah, I see.
But that's where I've been the last couple Fridays. But I mean, we'll see if that's got to be that way this week or not. That's kind of remains to be seen. But that might be our show.
Yeah.
And given the fact it's almost 1:00 and I have to be awake at 7:30, so that's gonna be your show for tonight. So this is your Tuesday video here on the Popcast Network, because technically I can actually say that because it makes sense to be Tuesday's video. Wednesday, I'm gonna guess Ashley's gonna return with more of the normalcy with like the indie stuff and because I'll be at Impact still. So
sorry, I'm trying to keep a track of crazy shit and that's going on.
Ashley will either do some sort of a wrestling video or have Snack Stash on Wednesday.
Yeah, I filmed a couple, so I can probably. I might, just because I can get it out of the way because it'll be a longer video, I might send off my Oreo one and whatever.
Oreos. I'm curious because it might be something we've already done or something that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, but it's my opinions on it.
Because if it's something we've already done, something we haven't done that I have to do, I might just say I'll let you take it.
Keep in mind the only new flavor that we had recently is birthday cake, and that probably came to you about 4 years ago.
Birthday cake was on Sip and Snack a while ago, and it was really good.
No, but I'm saying that, the flavors, we've only had like 6 flavors over here because they're only just slowly trickling them out. It's not like there's like a new flavor every like month or two or whatever.
Yes, it's very useful to do Sip and Snacks.
We barely get like 2 new flavors a year.
Okay.
So we're way behind anyway. So it's the UK catch up. The big dog. It's like,
Oh God.
So
yeah, that's the end.
Well, no, we might as well run through this greatest Royal Rumble card.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that show.
if you'd have seen tonight, you wouldn't have, because Jesus Christ, they force it down your throat. So we got the 50-man Rumble, which, as it stands, has Daniel Bryan, Big Show, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Elias, Goldust, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Chad Gable, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, Chris Jericho, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn in it.
How many are missing now that we don't have a list? We don't have a list of everybody,
3,
obviously.
6, 9, 15, 18, 24.
24 missing?
No, that's 24 in.
Oh, okay. So there's like 23 missing.
Hang on. Can I count?
I can't do math. You know this.
6, 9, 12, 15, 18. No, it's 20, 21. So we still have got to get 29. We still got to get 29. But 29. Then again, most of them are going to be from the other matches that are on the show.
Maybe
I'm guessing Undertaker, Rusev, Triple H, and John Cena are going to be in it.
Wouldn't it be smart to promote that?
No. Because they're on the card anyway.
We didn't promote Undertaker or John Cena, so yeah, there we go. That's a thing.
No, but they're on the card anyway.
Right.
And it's not like, John Cena and Triple H are only going to be on the card once for what's being labeled the greatest Royal Rumble, where they win a trophy with fucking swords on the side.
Here's the thing, though. I would say a good bet would be to give the win to Bryan.
It depends, because they really haven't established whether whoever wins the greatest Royal Rumble gets anything.
I still would give the win to Bryan anyway.
We'll see.
Because who's the last person to win a large Royal Rumble? Del Rio. And Bryan would win a Rumble that was 10 more.
They'd get rid of Alberto's record. Then again, they might hire him because they're idiots.
You never know. It's possible. Yeah, you want to know the funny whispers around Impact tonight that I kept hearing?
The Del Rio thing's a shoot?
No, not Del Rio. It is Triple A related, though.
Oh, no! There was a tweet put out by Impact saying that Winter's coming in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's official. She'll be in Canada. No, I'm talking about someone else. Someone coming into Impact that we don't want to see.
Are you talking about the letter that sounds like G?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, thank God. As long as it isn't him.
It's female, actually.
Oh, somebody that's been with him before?
No.
Oh, God. It'd be a mistake if they got Kimber. Mia Yim back?
Nope.
Who? A pregnant pause.
Hold on, sorry. You know what I'm doing. I'm back on my phone again. I'm sure you know what I mean by that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So no, you're talking. Who is the scourge of women's wrestling? This is Daisy.
Joey Ryan. What, Ellsworth?
The scourge of women's wrestling.
Marty Scurll? It sounds like Scourge. Oh, God, no, not Sexy Star.
Bingo!
Oh, for fuck! Fuck you, Lucha Underground. Fuck you!
That was the rumor around the building. And I know Rich Swann was there tonight. I can confirm that.
As somebody put in a tweet I noticed last night, keep in mind a year ago, the SmackDown general manager had a mask on in the front row and was supposed to be Alberto's sister.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, the card that we've got, aside from the Rumble, Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match.
Finally.
Cena versus Triple H. Hopefully the last time. Cedric versus whoever we find out on 205 Live tomorrow. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. The Bar versus the Woken of Worlds. Or whatever it is. The Eater of Woken. Woken Eaters. To crown not vacant tag champions. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder for the US title. AJ versus Not Speak English for the WWE title. Rollins defending against Balor, Joe, and Miz in a ladder match for the IC title. And Lesnar versus Roman in a cage for the Universal title. Part of me is wondering whether Jinder's winning and then either Joe or Miz is winning.
God, I don't even want them to be that stupid. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, it depends on who's in it because we don't know. Like, okay, let's look at the list of everybody. Let's say the only people that can win are the people that are listed right now. Okay.
Well, no, because what I'm trying to say is for those secondary titles, are they going to switch brands? Is the US title going to be on Raw after Saudi? Which they're going to officially say because that's all Booker was saying. He was saying Saudi. Like, there is a bit called Arabia, but Saudi. What I'm wondering is whether Jinder's winning and bringing it to Raw, which then logically means... I mean, logically, Rollins could retain and Miz could win it at Backlash. Because it's because he's already owed the one-on-one rematch, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you could do it then. Because I honestly think you're probably having most of these matches anyway added into the women's matches for Backlash. Which then makes us fear how long Backlash is going to be. Is it going to be as long as we fear? But no, in terms of... To be honest, in terms of the Rumble, there's only two contenders for me that can win. One from each brand. One is Bryan and the other is Strowman.
Bryan makes the most sense to me, given the fact.
Daniel Bryan and Braun Strowman are the obvious choices. Because I don't know whether they're going to give the Greatest Royal Rumble win to somebody on the SmackDown side because of what happened in terms of Asuka and Nakamura.
Nakamura is a possibility too, or they could double up on AJ winning.
Because then if Strowman... Because keep in mind, we don't even know whether the Royal Rumble winner's getting anything. All we know is, as I say, they're getting this trophy with swords on it. It's like an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, just with swords. And just a generic cup. But one that doesn't purposefully look like a woman's vagina like the bloody women's wanted. It actually looks like a proper trophy. When
Triple S says, I liked Redemption, but I'm not a fan of Allie. Can you explain to me why? I'm going to guess you're talking about the character of Allie.
I'm not a fan of Allie in that character. Because I know she can fucking wrestle. And
She's showing that now.
They're making her out as like this dumb woman that's gradually becoming somebody good. When it's like, this is the woman that was bloody WSU champion for like 600 days.
So here's my question, Ashley. Who's Su Young's partner in crime here? Because we're leading to a storyline. Obviously, I said we're building that casket match with Rosemary, which I almost guarantee. Yeah, maybe.
But how can you do Taya? Because if she can't go to Canada,
Yeah, that's not possible. It's got to be someone
Winter?
else. Winter would be possible, but as far as I know, she's not showing up until Canada.
Well, they've said next you'll be seeing her in the next few weeks, which logically means she must be at tapings tomorrow.
It's possible, but I mean, according to
Because
what
if they're taping for the next 9 weeks, and keep in mind what the next show is, I think they're doing like an Impact house show somewhere in Canada, like in June, so they could be taping there.
that's what I'm
for
referring to.
stuff.
That's when she's supposed to return.
Yeah, but that isn't next few weeks. That's 2 months.
Yes. A lot can happen in 2 months. Proof positive.
Problem there. Quick to Impact Wrestling's website because they'll have a Twitter thing that I can check. Oh, I like the bloody Twitter vote that they've got. Did Eddie Edwards go too far at Redemption? They spelt 2 T-O.
Oh my God, why? Oh, jeez. I'm going to get away from that before I lose my head. One Triple S says Allie needs to be a heel like Emma in 2013 with Santino.
She needs to be Cherry Bomb.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She needs to be Cherry Bomb. Yeah, we are delighted to announce Katrina will be making her return to Impact in the coming weeks. Oh my God. Your feedback to Redemption has been incredible. We're so glad you all enjoyed the show so much. Not for $40. Redemption helped break a ton of records on social media. Not only has today been our biggest day ever than Twitter, it doubled our previous record. You're caring more about fucking social media than you are about people watching? Right. Because, reasons.
So I don't know what's going on for Wednesday. I guess we'll find out from Ashley if he's doing any wrestling content on Wednesday.
I'll do a video. It's probably going to be a food related one, more than likely. And then, depending how Friday goes for us, it won't be live, but we may cover the fallout from the Greatest Royal Rumble, because then we can probably hype towards New Japan, which is probably what me and Owen are more excited about. Because let me just double check on the cards. I think there's big stuff happening this weekend there. Double check.
I'll find out.
Well, in a few hours, we've got Jay White defending against Jay Finlay at Hurricane Hall. And
did you say Jay Finlay?
Dave Finlay and Jay White.
Yeah, you called him Jay Finlay.
I should say I go to bed, but I only got up about 8 hours ago because, again, adjusted my sleep patterns. So you've got that today. Friday we've got Goto versus Robinson for the Never Openweight title.
New champion. I'm calling it right now.
Sunday we've got Sonata and Evil versus Killer Elite Squad, and Suzuki versus Naito. And then the following Thursday and Friday is Wrestling Dontaku with the 6-man tag title match. Ibushi versus Cody and Omega versus Page on that one. And then on night 2, Ospreay, Kushida and Okada Tanahashi. And that'll be right before Backlash, pretty much. Well, there'll be a couple of days break or whatever. I believe as well tickets go on sale for NXT Chicago this week. They haven't already?
No, they haven't gone on sale. I've been checking that website periodically to see if they did. One Triple S says Allie seems like an amateur, but said she's been wrestling since 2005. Is it a gimmick? Yes, greatly it is.
That's the problem. That is the problem. if you look at her indie stuff, it's like they shouldn't be doing what they're doing with her. Also, it's good to see that bloody UK media are saying that the new Raw baby's a porker. And also, when going to some Chinese people, have you travelled far? And they go Devon. So rather than actual China, it's just like, good job. It's always good when there's a royal birth or something royal, because when they send Kay Burley out, everybody goes ape at her on social media. Lol. In terms, I mean, if you just look at the stuff she's done as Cherry Bomb on the net, especially the feud with her so-called bunny buddy.
Heck yes,
Courtney
that DVD
Rush.
is amazing.
The Courtney Rush and Cherry Bomb stuff is incredible.
The Buffy the Vampire
why
Slayer
they
angle?
got
Yes.
That's why that's bloody why they got in that bloody whole thing in the first place.
Correct.
Because that was Courtney Rush's gimmick before she became Rosemary. She got that worked over by Cherry Bomb, that she had to sort of basically turn into a demon and whatever. And then they just went, just stick with the demon character. We'll put you with the best. We'll put you with the fucking Stevie Cole. Da. And all that. That's always good. So I think that's everything. The road to Backlash continues next week. To be honest, you can tell that WWE is going to be slacking for the next bit, because next week's Raw and SmackDown are both out in Montreal, and they're not doing any house shows before Backlash. And the great thing is, because the women don't have to go anywhere, all the women are basically getting a week off, because all the men are wrestling in Saudi. Or at least most of the men, the ones that are being called up or whatever. The thing is, because they're like saying, oh, Mysterio's in there and everything, I'm wondering how many surprises they're going to pull off for the Rumble. Because Carly's been all but confirmed. Which would have been a surprise. Mysterio isn't officially named, but he's pretty much somewhat locked in. There doesn't seem to be that many surprises.
Could be some people that obviously were doing like the training sessions and like the tryouts that we've had the last couple days. Potentially, I could see that being a possibility.
They said one of them.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't a surprise. They've already hinted at that. Well, they said that the best one of the 8 that they got will be used in some purpose at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which I'd say is obviously, oh yeah, they're going to stick him in the Greatest Royal Rumble to prove how it isn't the Greatest Royal Rumble, because here's a guy that's never wrestled in a big company before. And he's probably going to eliminate somebody like Rusev or whatever, because it's like, yeah, jobber, like, and then they'll get eliminated. It'll be like probably by Triple H, because he's the king of burials.
One Triple H S Mrs. Sabu. I was like, no, probably not.
I don't know whether the Saudis are into ECW.
I don't know who they're into anyway.
Well, they are very big marks. So basically, it would be anybody that people are supposed to cheer.
I'd say Foley, but I don't think he can get thrown over the top rope.
Well, he might be, he's probably busy doing comedy stuff, I think, anyway.
Yeah, but let's see. They could bring over some NXT guys potentially.
Oh, and that interesting. The tickets were selling out that fast. They had to push the bloody Saudi authority for sports to increase the capacity for the stadium. So they had to save their ass. Just seeing what else. Yeah, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Sport Authority. It's brilliant. They don't want to be considered sports, but in Saudi Arabia, they're going to be. Gates open at 4 and the show starts at 7 local time. So the show in that, wow. So there, it's gonna go on till midnight local time because it's a 5-hour show. That's curfew, isn't it? Or something. And all the tickets are sold out online. But they're still. Hang on. Let's see if the currency conversion's changed.
God.
US dollar. 10 reals is $2.67. The second tier tickets are $5.33. And the family tickets for the front section are only $26 each, or $27 each. But then again, I don't know whether that's for the entire family, because they might be desperate. Yeah, that doesn't smell like propaganda at all, does it? Giant propaganda.
This show has got like a dark cloud hanging over it. I'm curious to see what the crowd's going to look like.
When they cheer for Roman, you'll immediately know, well, this is not a crowd that watches wrestling much, is it?
Nope.
I can't wait for the commentary desk as well, because it's like, who's going to be going in terms of international commentary? Or are they going to have them doing commentary basically out of various studios in Stamford?
We shall see.
A lot will happen. I'm really expecting and hoping for it to blow up badly in their face. And I don't mean like terrorist attack. I mean PR disaster.
I think it's going to be a massive PR disaster.
And keep in mind, they're already locked in and forced to be doing another 9 of these equivalent shows.
God, screw these shows.
Well, that's actually, come to think of it, they've sort of hinted that there might be another one. Because the names that were coming up with was like WWE Slam or WWE Elbow, or like just like generic stuff that isn't even like. Hang on, WWE Saudi Arabia deal. I want to bring this up because we probably won't remember. Saudi Arabia deal, because they actually had like a list of the bloody names of the shows that they were saying, and it was just like, geez.
Hyro said, "Welcome back, Hyro." He says, "Will Roman win?" No, I hope not. I really hope not. It depends on what Brock's contract is.
I'm thinking yes. Let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, the agreement was. I don't know whether this is a bad translation or whatever. This article's from March. The agreement will see Saudi wrestling fans enjoying such events as Royal Rumble, Tag Team, Raw Title, and Peace. So it's like, well, the other 3 might have been lost in translation. I've got a feeling. And this is slightly. If anything, the next place that WWE needs to go is bloody China, because it came out today that Tencent, the Chinese company that I think's got a stake in Google and all that, they're putting a $15 million prize up for bloody a fortnight or PUBG. I can't remember which, but one of those battle royal games. There's gonna be a $15 million first prize just in China. So yeah. So expect. Well, I guess if they do bloody Saudi Arabia shows, can they fit it in enough time to do a big China show every year? I have to know. Also, what if there's any people that are Jewish? Considering how supposedly I've heard that if anybody's got a stamp on their passport that says they're from Israel, they can't go to Saudi Arabia. I guess Colt Cabana isn't going to be part of the Greatest Royal Rumble. We can confirm that now.
Probably not. CM Punk is not going to be either for other reasons.
Well, CM Punk's busy for UFC. And,
yeah,
Bernard the Business Bear. If that turns out to be Punk in 3 months, that's genius.
Well, considering the fact that CM Punk and Shakara makes sense, you never know.
It is a monk. Also, interestingly, and I need to quickly go to Fight TV. It looks as if the Ring of Honor show is actually being broadcast.
Interesting.
Live on Fight TV this week. Yeah, I might as well quickly run through that. It's going head to head with Shine 50, which is Lufisto versus Kimberly in the main event. But yeah, the Bound by Honor show from West Palm Beach in Florida, which doesn't have any matches on it, sadly. Oh no, apparently Shane Taylor and Josh Woods. The Virtuosa versus and the Gatekeeper. Marty Scurll versus Kenny King. Adam Page and the Bucks take on the Kingdom. Flip Gordon versus Dalton Castle in a proving ground match. Oh, I guess there is stuff. Oh no, it's because I didn't click on I clicked on lineup, not details, or vice versa. So yeah, Shane Taylor versus Josh Woods, Kelly Klein versus Deonna Purrazzo, Kenny King versus Marty Scurll, Coast to Coast, the Dogs, Daniels and Kaz, and Silas and the Beer City Bruiser. Briscoes versus Machine Guns for the tag titles. Kingdom versus the Hung Bucks. Scorpio Sky, Jay Lethal, Cody Punishment Martinez, and Dalton versus Flip. So that's all on Fight TV. By the way, it's only $10. Take that, Impact. The Ring of Honor card doesn't look as good as the Impact one did, but it's 4 times cheaper. So, it's 75% less than what you were charging for that. So, and then also Defiant Wrestling has got its show on Fight on Saturday as well. Oh, and apparently also the Lakeland, Florida show on Sunday. Or, sorry, Saturday night, I should say. Is getting streamed. Oh, and the weekend after, we've got bloody Pro Wrestling Eve's Wrestle Kingdom. The what do you call it? The biggest wrestling women's show ever in the UK. So that should be good. What's the lineup for not West Palm Beach? Well, considering it's being called Ring of Honor Champions versus Bullet Club, I'm guessing the Fiend. No, I want to see their lineup. Oh, okay. It's just Ring of Honor Champions versus Bullet Club. So it'll be whoever the tag champs are, along with Silas and Dalton versus Cody, the Bucks, and Marty. Adam Page, Punishment Martinez, Jay Lethal, Josh Woods, SoCal Uncensored versus the Kingdom, Shane Taylor, Matt Taven, Kenny King, and Beer City Bruiser, and Scorpio Sky versus Flip Gordon.
Interesting.
Which one of them is Bullet Club?
Flip Gordon.
He's not all in just yet.
Not yet. Soon.
Considering how there's no more bloody being the elite on that cliffhanger of, wait, are they actually doing the Brandy Flip thing properly? But we'll never know. And then right after Backlash, Ring of Honor War of the Worlds in Lowell, Toronto, Michigan, and Chicago. Oh, of course, the Chicago show coincides with the press conference and all that. And then the UK shows are in around my birthday weekend. I would go and see them, but I'm busy. Damn it. So yeah, that's sort of what's coming up this weekend, at least on the major stuff that I can think of.
Okay.
If there's any other indies, it's not PWG because their next show isn't till again my birthday sort of weekend anyway. So I now understand why the Bucks aren't going to be able to go to it, because if Ring of Honor is telling them to be in the UK, they're probably doing those shows instead. So there we go. Check out all the other content here.
Yeah, Hyra asked if we're going to see Neville return. Probably not, but
you never know.
But you don't know anymore.
You never know. But basically, it probably has to be if Vince, Vince lets Triple H do stuff, because I think Triple H sort of wants it, but Vince is like, no.
And it looks like the last thing we have is Hyro says, I want Tony Schiavone to replace Josh Matthews on commentary. Yeah, I do too. But MLW.
The MLW. I haven't seen the MLW show yet. The title match between Strickland and Riddle was very good.
Yeah,
and that's on the YouTube and whatever. So the next stuff for them, I think, is like early May, so in a few weeks. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, that's our show. Back here next week for Raw. Actually, we might be here Friday night. We'll see what's going on with that. Not sure yet. We'll see. Talk about the greatest Royal Rumble.
AJ's reviewing Avengers and all that juiciness, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's what. That's definitely going to be up as soon as possible.
I don't even know if there is any other major release this week. I don't think anybody's being that stupid by the looks of it. Yeah, Disobedience has only got a limited thing, and I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's the Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams one. The one that might have Oscar buzz about it, except they're releasing it in April, so that goes out the fucking window.
Yeah.
As I say, I'll be probably putting up a snack stash up later this week. Have you got any sip and snack coming your way soon?
Thursday.
Cool.
Everybody's going to be watching Infinity War. I'll probably see it eventually. Like I said, it's just kind of like right now I've got so many things going down. Like this is like April's going out of town next week. So it's like I'm working like nonstop. So I got like 6 days next week. So it's kind of like I've got a lot of stuff to preoccupy my time with. So, but we're doing a bunch of like, obviously like gym, run, normalcy. So yeah, no, God, no Enzo, please, no. It's all the work. Enzo's back for the Rumble, confirmed. No, I hope not.
I'm gonna throw up.
That's it. We're done the show now with that. I may or may not be at the Impact tapings tomorrow. I might have to miss tomorrow because I just found out something else instead. So if I go, I'll be late.
Manager of Raw sending him messages again.
Yeah, a whole lot more important than the Raw general manager.
No, for sure.
But yeah, that's gonna be And it's gonna be your show, Ashley. Where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. I'm trying to think what the last thing I liked. If I actually managed to go to my own profile page, I think it might have been something. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, it was Miko Satomura getting killed by something, and Pete Dunne just going, "I quit." So all that juiciness, among other things. Owen can be found at Sir Owen Disney, I think.
Yes, at Sir Owen Disney on Twitter. You can also check out the Facebook fan page at Popcast Network or Sir Owen Disney and Popcast Network. We have a Twitter for Popcast Network. It's just it's kind of there. If you want to follow it, you can. It's at Popcast Network. I haven't done anything on it in a while, so my apologies for that. Like I said, super busy. Like I said, AJ content this weekend, Ashley content this weekend, my content's coming up this weekend. So that's going to be your show. Want to thank everyone in live chat tonight. I see everyone, the normalcy returning. We really appreciate Hyro and Jeremy Mills and 1SSS for joining us one more time in chat. And
in a world.
Sorry. In a world where there are a million wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more this evening you've chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Now in the bloody Royal Rumble, Tommy Young.